I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say that the audio right now is definitely fine.
It probably is,
and if it's going to be a little bit low quality, that's okay.
We can grow with the podcast.
Yeah, we will.
We'll get a better mic in season 2.
So, welcome to the Boston Art Podcast. My name is Brian Huntress.
Are you sure?
And this is like, I just made that. That's my new moniker. I just made that up on the spot. And what is your name, my fellow co-host?
My name is Ryan Buntress.
Ryan Buntress. So, what are we doing? Why are we making this? Why are we adding this podcast to the infinite stream of billions of other podcasts? Why do we feel like this one should be contributed to the ethos and ether? And
is this like the real first draft?
Oh yeah, we're in.
I just actually introduced myself as your name. Can we start over?
No, we're not starting over.
We were doing a test.
No, this is it. This is the real world.
All right, sick. My name is Theodora Earthworms.
Yeah.
One of them. I was on the phone with somebody the other day, and I had to introduce myself by my art name for the first time, and she was like, "Can you spell that last name?" And I was like, "It's Earthworms. Earthwurms." And she was like, "Can you repeat that?" And I was like, E-A-R.
Oh my god.
It's kind of embarrassing. Didn't feel as cool in that
You were
moment.
like, it's spelled earthworms. Think about it.
It's actually really offensive that you don't know my last name.
Really.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Alright.
Taking off my shoes. Do my feet smell?
This is a draft, right?
No, it's not. This is the real... We're in this.
I can't smell.
Okay.
Your feet.
We have COVID. No, don't stop it. This is the real thing.
I'm not.
Yes, it is. I'm uploading this.
I'm not paying to put this on.
Come on. It's okay. Everybody starts somewhere.
Nobody's listening anymore.
Everybody starts
oh my
somewhere.
fucking God. Alright, what are we doing?
Well, don't... If you hit stop,
I won't.
don't do it.
We're 2.5 minutes in and we haven't said anything.
That's okay. It's okay if we suck. We're beginners.
No, literally.
No, don't. Please. No. Give me a chance.
Give me a chance.
Give the podcast. This is the Boston Art Podcast.
All right.
We're representing the city of Boston right now.
Oh my God.
All right. I will. Well, let's give a clean slate. This is the Boston Art Podcast. You're Theodora Earthworms. I'm Brian Huntress.
That is correct.
We're both artists.
In Boston.
Living and residing in the city of Boston.
Well, I live in Somerville, but...
Same thing.
I work in Dorchester.
City. And I live in Brighton, which is kind of Boston. Who really cares, though?
I think it's considered Boston.
It is considered Boston, but, what really is a city?
But a collection of boroughs.
Yeah, I don't really know. But I don't know. I guess what I think we should really drive home here is that this is a podcast. It's about
Boston.
With
Brian Huntress.
That's
Theodore Earthworms.
That's the message. Okay.
All right.
If there's one thing you get out of this, we want you to know that we're here, we're recording this, and we're putting it on the air, and that's okay. All right. What should we? What do you think? Tell me about. Give me a state of the union for the arts.
Gosh.
In the city of Somerville.
In
Boston.
Somerville, Boston. Well, it's a broad question. All right, hold on. How about we back up a little bit and contextualize... Let's contextualize who we are in this...
Okay, who are you?
Things. Who am I?
How about you tell me who I am?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's a good place to start.
You are...
Okay.
Brian Huntress.
Yep.
I feel like a lot of people know you as an oil painter. I think you're a multimedia artist. You've actually been painting acrylic paintings a lot lately.
Yeah, recently a lot of acrylics.
Yeah. A lot of figurative subject matter. Weird. You're also a musician.
Oh yeah, I make music.
And a sculptor.
Yeah, sometimes.
And a writer.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Privately.
I'm a writer for a long time. We discussed this today. You're a skater.
I skateboard. I'm like a low-end intermediate skateboarder.
Which is oddly central to your artistic practice, I feel like.
Maybe.
In a conceptual way. That's a whole other topic, though.
True, that's different.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm also 25.
Oh yeah, that's important. Both college dropouts.
We've both dropped out of college, that's true. My dropout situation is kind of murky, though, because I failed a bunch of stuff with no good reason, and then got my financial aid revoked, and then I just kind of stopped going. And it just it was one of those things, kind of like we were talking about recently, where you kind of throw away important mail and just ignore the problem.
Were we talking about that? Did I do that?
Yeah. And then you just forget that the problem exists eventually, and
then it comes
your
back
credits
to get
probably expire, and you owe student loans for a degree you didn't get.
Yeah.
Let me tell them about you. You are Theo. As I know you as Theo, but you are publicly known as Theodora Earthworms. You are an artist of many, that wears many hats. You are an ink drawer, a watercolorist. Yeah. A painter of acrylics and oils sometimes as well.
Almost entirely acrylics, though.
Mostly acrylics, some gouache and watercolor. You're definitely a pen and ink. You're definitely what mainly defines your style to me in the broadest sense is realistic pen and ink illustrations.
Interesting.
With a lot of varied subject matter, but mostly images of people, still lifes, and things like that. Very representational, clean, good stuff.
Thank you.
Expressive, but not pristine, you can't even see the hand. But in an intentional way, it's intentionally expressive and ink-oriented and sketchy and good and nice. I like stuff like that.
Yeah, pretty much sums it up, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That's what we do stylistically. I don't know.
I feel like
and
you
we also...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like I didn't speak about your subject matter.
That's okay.
I feel like you have a lot of fantasy elements where I work from photos, or photos intentionally taken to use in my work more often.
Wait, say that. I spaced out. I didn't listen.
I said I think you work from fantasy subject matter a lot more often than I do. Which is pretty cool, because I feel like you also are pretty expressive and have an element of realism in your work, but draw from the imagination a lot more.
Yeah, I like to... I think there have been times where I've only painted out of my imagination, and then there are times where I focus more on drawing from life or from photos.
Yeah.
Right now, I kind of am trying to do both simultaneously in the same pieces.
Interesting.
Where I kind of want to use references and draw things and intentional ideas and things, but more imaginatively. I think I always lean too hard in either direction. Where sometimes I'm too imaginative. Nice.
I spilled tea all over
wearing your tea. Where sometimes I'm way too imaginative. I feel like, and sometimes I restrict myself way too much to a reference. Yeah. But I just kind of want to be right in the middle there.
I feel that. I think I'm coming from the opposite side, where I got really, really heavily reliant on realism for a little while, because I think towards the end of high school, senior year, maybe the year right after high school ended, I was working almost entirely in, sort of cartooning, but, ink work, kind of, and it was mostly invented subject matter, or self-portraits and portraits of my friends that weren't from a reference, just kind of drawn from my brain. And I got really frustrated by that, because I felt like I was losing my ability to do realism. So I started doing only realism for a while, and then now I'm frustrated that I only do realism, so I'm trying to get back to the middle.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, because I feel like a good realistic drawer or illustrator can kind of invent people, but I do think it's true, though, that I don't know, like with drawing people or fake faces or people that don't exist, like, I just feel like sometimes those people just kind of look like a Greek statue, in the sense that Greek statues, their faces like don't look like people. Like they have an eyes, nose, and mouth and a head, but they don't look like people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just look like
idealized.
a muscle face, muscle man face.
That can be okay though. I think it depends on what your goal is with the piece.
That's true. I feel like when you invent people, I feel like that's such a weird way of putting it, but when you make drawings of people that don't exist, I feel like it looks so much better when it, like, I don't know. I feel like little details are so much better than...
You're tucking yourself into bed
I'm
right now.
tucking myself into my bed. I'm under the blankets because I'm kind of tired and cold. It's okay. We're in my studio right now. I pay residential rent and have a bed in here, but it's a studio.
My studio. In my apartment.
It's this new hip thing where people are like subverting the real estate market and renting apartments but using them as studios. It's really new. It hasn't caught on yet.
Oh my god.
Warehouse studios are out, apartments with studios in them are in.
Wait, let's rewind a little bit and talk about that though, because I feel like oh my god. Okay, to rewind back to the college dropout thing.
Can you hand me my tea?
Oh my god, where's your tea?
It's on the floor.
What? Why do you put your tea on the... You have a table. There you go.
I don't have a bed frame, so I put things on the floor because it's closer to me than the table is. The table's too high, the floor is closer. Because I only have a mattress.
This is why you kick over drinks every day.
Okay, let's go.
I also don't have a bed frame.
I like your train of thought.
Okay,
just now.
yeah, going back.
That shit.
I think talking about our work is really important, but I also want to talk about our lifestyles as artists, because we talk about that a lot in personal conversation, that your lifestyle and your income and your background and whether or not you have a college degree or what school you went to or what your focus was in school really affects the kind of art that you make and the kind of artistic practice that you have, like whether you have a studio or whether you have a bedroom studio apartment.
Studio apartment.
If you went to community college or not. Those things all play a role, I think. So, yeah, you talked about your experience a little bit. For me, I really, really put all my eggs in one basket with college and started at community college at 16, actually, because I was homeschooled, so it was dual enrollment. My mom put me in school. And I started studying art then, and like one class a semester kind of thing, and then did that until I graduated in 2018, which was a long time, and then with a dual associate's degree and psychology degree, two associate's degrees in psychology and fine arts, went to Lesley University in Cambridge, and within 2 semesters I dropped out, even though it was my dream school because of finances.
Why was it your dream school?
I wanted to study art therapy really badly, and it was the only school around here that I wanted to go to. Also, my mentor, Sarah Bates Washburn, who is a pretty phenomenal artist from the South Shore, who mentored me from the time I was about 14 or 15 up until I went to college, was a recent alumni of their graduate program. So I wanted to kind of follow in her footsteps and learn from the same professor she did.
And she's more of a conceptual artist, or is she a painter?
Both, actually, yeah. What she was teaching me about was mostly abstract expressionism. She herself is a conceptual artist and makes a lot of political artwork. And I know that her thesis was on art and humor. She's a really interesting artist. If we have a link in bio situation, I'll link to her website. But yeah, she'll be in there. Just look in the text.
Yeah, of wherever
we put this.
Now, I guess why. And do you feel like at the time that you enrolled or applied, did you feel like, I guess I'm thinking if you wanted to be an artist, I know you said art therapy, but if you wanted to be an artist or excel at your career in whatever way, like, did you feel like going to art school was your ticket towards doing that? Or did you think that you could, that was the only way? Or was there any reason? So also, let me ask you this. You moved to Boston from Plymouth.
Yes. Yeah.
The hometown of America.